Take the Leap is the podcast where we get real about the roller coaster that is entrepreneurship and life. Sure, some folks make running a business look like a walk in the park, but let's be honest, it's more like a wild ride through a theme park with a lot of unexpected twists and turns.
Join us, your co-hosts, Ashlan
and Tory,
as we spill the beans on our own real-life experiences and shine a spotlight on some amazing guests. From the highs of success stories to the lows of epic failures. And hey, we'll even throw in some cringe-worthy, laugh-out-loud, embarrassing moments for good measure.
So buckle up and tune in every Tuesday and Thursday for a dose of raw, unfiltered truth about what it's really like to chase your dreams and build a business.
Whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur or just dipping your toes into the startup world, we've got something for everyone. Even if it's just to make you think, wow, I'm glad I didn't do what they did.
Welcome back, everyone, to Take the Leap. Really excited to chat with you today, Ashlan. We are debriefing over our conversation with our wonderful guest last week, Dusty. We met Dusty through the Feral Book Club. We've had a couple of the members on so far. We'll have more of them, I'm sure. And we just love our Feral Book Club. It's really fun. So with Dusty, one of the things we talked about was that success doesn't come from chasing trends. It comes from building real relationships. So Dusty runs the Referral Worthy Network, and she does a lot in that space. And so like having like a full conversation about like why referrals are important and how that's different than, just posting on social media and like networking and like what that looks like. And I feel like we've talked about this before, this topic on the podcast, but in very different ways. And I think it's just like a common theme that keeps coming back over and over again is that people aren't going to remember you for the flashy marketing. People aren't going to remember you because you gave them your business card at an event. People aren't going to remember you by most things. They're going to remember you based on the relationship you have with them. Yeah. And so it's really, really important in your marketing strategy and just in general to focus more on building relationships with people. And it's the same for networking too. Like when you go to a networking event, going with the intent to meet someone, to get something from them is not going to encourage a relationship. People I've worked with, some of them have been people that I've known for several years and have seen over and over again in some community. And they trust me and they get to know me. And I've been able to do things for people and vice versa. But like, even just a normal friendship, like there's give and take, but you don't become friends with someone with the expectation of getting something from them. Like that's not a long-lasting relationship that you're doing. And so applying that concept to your business, we're all humans. At the end of the day, we're all people. And we all want to be able to connect with someone. And that's why I think it's like one of the most important things in running your business. But
the secret sauce is in the follow-up, right? And the follow-through and the communication and the getting to know people on a nice, like an underlying level, because I'm more likely to remember what you do in your business if I know that your interests are, reading smutty romance books, or, I feel like it's so nice to network with people in a way that is not just so like stiff and business oriented. It is through kind of like this collective understanding and collaboration as well. Or, we remember stories much better like than we do just like listing out like keywords, like here's all the different things we do. I think it's, gaining that kind of understanding of like but what do you actually do for people? Like, what is your real, treasure and talent that you are bringing to
Yeah.
it? And, be a whole person. Don't just
Yeah.
be like, like, I'm da da da, and this is what I do, blah, 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 blah. Like, have an interest outside of just business, and be interested in other people. Because I do notice that a lot of times at networking events, people are like, this is me, 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 me. I'm like,
Elevator.
yeah, exactly, exactly. And not everybody's buying what you're selling. Like, don't, I think that is something that we cover in our course. Like, you can't be for everybody. In effect, you are for nobody if you're just literally trying to pitch everybody. So, understanding that is not what people want. And, and it's not only in networking, like, I actually have to like disconnect from somebody on LinkedIn because I was like, oh yeah, that person sounds interesting. His first message to me is like a sales pitch. I'm like, cool, buddy. Yeah, no. like, yeah, it's
Well,
just so annoying. So another thing that this is reminding me of is something that Dusty had mentioned, because we kind of pushed her on like what makes businesses referral worthy. And I'm going to read off of it because it was really good and I want to
okay.
reinforce it. So she had said, if a business isn't getting enough referrals, it's likely to one of three issues. One is a recent pivot. So you've changed your offerings and you haven't communicated it clearly with your network, which is really why it's important to do that relationship building, because if nobody knows that you sell fabric, I'm just going to make up a thing. Nobody knows you sell Fabergé eggs now. How the fuck are they going to promote you, with that? So that's number one. The second one was messaging problems. So you struggle to explain what you do, so other people don't know how to talk about what you do. So it's not just that elevator pitch, but it's like the so what and the now what too. You can't just say like, blah, 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 this is what I do, but it's like, why does it actually matter? And why would anybody pay you for that? And then the third piece was just the poor system. So you have a shitty onboarding or client experience that's too chaotic that people don't feel confident recommending you to other people. So that is something, if your goal through all the networking is to become somebody that people refer to, you've got to have those three things put together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All of those check out. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, those are the basics.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. A good place to start.
Place to
For
start,
sure.
for sure. Yeah, even just kind of reviewing that, I'm kind of like, maybe I need to like look at my poor systems and my messaging problems,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Absolutely.
Well, in kind of like wrapping up that conversation with Dusty and that one of the things I really enjoyed talking about with her is talking about just the state of how things are in our country right now and how it's
Mm-hmm.
very overwhelming and
Mm-hmm.
um it's it's kind of a lot. There's days where I'm like, should I just give up and, you know, go somewhere new, you know? And then there's other days where I'm like, that's not plausible. And the only way that I can fight back is by building my business and staying here and, building
Mm-hmm.
a community and growing. So anyway, along that same lines, she had written a recent Substack. So if you're not subscribed to it, you should definitely go check it out. Um, and in this post, she talked about basically that topic and what she's doing to fight back. And she has found some like real world actionable next steps that she can take. And that is to kind of help build her community. And right now she's doing that and she's doing grounding through gardening. And
Mm-hmm.
I love following her on social media. And I feel like right now her social media is basically business or gardening. And I'm
Yeah.
here for it. Like I am just following her. I am following this journey for her because I love it. But it just helped remind me that small, meaningful steps still matter. And she had
Mhm.
even like posted to her stories, who needs starters? Like who needs this so that they can start growing their own food, or like who wants to be on the list here for that, and it's, it got me thinking like what's something I can do. And like, of course, I'm going to start my own garden this year too. But I'm also like, what other skills do I have? I make sourdough bread every week, like how can I, like, who in my community needs that? And I would love I would love some farm fresh eggs. Like I would love, like,
Mhm.
how can we start thinking about small ways to connect with our neighbors, to connect with our community, and start helping each other out.
Mhm.
And that doesn't just apply to real life. I mean, it also applies to business and real
Yeah.
life too. Like, how can we start coming together as a community? That word community just keeps coming back for us this year.
Mhm.
Like, that's how we're going to get through this,
Absolutely.
is by
Yeah.
leaning our community.
Yeah. One, like, not to get too political, but I mean, that is what a lot of the I'm just going to call it the fascist authoritarianism that exists in our country
Yep.
right now. What they want is for us to be divided. They don't want us to work together because there's far fewer of them than there are of us who believe this is bullshit, nonsense, and shouldn't be happening. And so, it does take each person instead of, like, I know that it can be really easy to wallow in like, woe is me, it's so bad, I can't do anything. But to turn that around and be like, wait, there is stuff that I can do.
Yeah.
There are simple things that can be done,
Yeah.
whether or not that is, helping out. Like we'll talk about soon, like helping out a local nonprofit, giving, like being on a board of directors, volunteering at the food bank. My husband and I have been talking about, because we still need to build our community here in Vegas. And I think part of it too is I am back and forth to Portland so often that I definitely get asked by people in Vegas, or even like, I'll be traveling in a few weeks to New Orleans. They'll be like, so do you live here or do you not live here? I'm like, are you going to set down roots or are you not going to set down roots?
Mhm.
Although in a couple weeks, I am going to, one of my clients is the United Way here in Southern Nevada, and I am going to their Women United group, like networking activity. So it's like women who are fundraising for the United Way, because I was like, I need to find something here that I can, latch onto. And then I do also have a plan to join like a support local networking lunch next week too. But sometimes it's so hard because like it's in the middle of the day and I have to like drive somewhere and I'm like, okay,
That thought about
now
it.
I have to like, yeah, it's just an auto. Yeah. They are really, really into in-person networking here. And I feel like just being in Oregon, there is so much virtual networking that has been happening. But yeah, having places and spaces that you can step into and be active and do those small steps. I know for you, Tori, you've been going to like a lot of like mom and child like classes and stuff like that, and building network that way. So I think there is a lot of opportunity for us, and we just have to do it.
Well, yeah, we're not meant to live in this individualistic mindset.
Uh-huh.
We're not meant to live on our own like this. And um, I think that we've talked about this before too. I think that's one of I mean, there's many negative impacts of capitalism, is that we have
Mhm.
turned into such an individualistic society that we don't trust each other. We don't work with competition. We look at everybody as competition.
Competition, yeah.
Um, I think that's one of the things you and I are really trying to change in terms of the culture around owning your own business, is that like you and I both, I mean, we don't do the exact same things, but we do very similar things,
Similar things,
and
yeah.
we take on very similar types of clients. And yet I don't see you as a competitor. In
Yeah.
fact, like we have talked about like working together on certain projects, and we've talked about
Mhm.
particular potential clients. We've gone after some of the same things, and I still don't see
Yeah.
you as a competitor,
Of course. Yeah.
because that one, there's plenty of work to go around
Oh,
in
yeah.
terms, especially when it comes to our field that we're in. There's plenty of work to go around, and even if things change, we can pivot enough to where we're not going to be out of work anytime soon.
Totally.
And then two, I have found more fulfillment and more work by partnering with you and doing this podcast together with you and getting together with our groups of other entrepreneurs. Like I've gotten more out of that than by
Mhm.
avoiding you all because you're quote competition.
Competition. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, there's been many things I feel like in the last, I don't know, 6 months where I'm like, "I don't have capacity for this, but here's a marketing thing
I
I
got a
saw
client
out there."
because of you. Yeah, I got my
Yeah,
next
yeah,
client
yeah,
because of you.
yeah, yeah,
And I feel
which is
like,
great.
yeah,
Yeah,
and I would do the same. Like I would send people your way.
yeah.
Um, it's just, and I'm not ever expecting you to do
No.
that, nor am I expecting to get anything from our
Mhm.
friendship. It's just I've been impacted positively though
Yeah.
because we have the relationship that we have.
Mhm.
And I'd much rather do it this way than,
Oh, totally.
yeah,
Yeah, the reciprocal benefits of being in that space and yeah. So,
absolutely.
mhm.
I
Yeah.
agree. Well, yeah, so that was a really great conversation with Dusty. So glad we had that. So glad you all have heard it or are going to hear it if you haven't listened to it yet. Um,
Mhm.
highly encourage you to. Dusty is freaking hilarious and loved that conversation. So, Ashlyn, let's go ahead and wrap this up with our favorite session. What is your win for the week?
I have been oh, excuse me. I have been reading like crazy. I
Go ahead.
finished I've been reading both like biz books and like fun books. So you loaned me the Throne of Glass series and I am like pouring through that. It was really funny. So I've been, going to the chiropractor and so I bring my book with me while I'm like sitting there and waiting in the waiting room and like doing all of that. So I feel like I've been reading then. I've been reading right before bed. I've been like reading in the mornings with my coffee. So I've just been pouring through that, but then also like putting business books like on the side too. And when I've been going to the gym, I've been reading like essentialism because it's really hard to like be on the elliptical and read Throne
Right.
of Glass, like I would love to, but much harder.
Sure.
But yeah, so I'm keeping with I've been wanting to read more this year. And I swear to God, this is going to be the year that I'm going to do it. So, Book Riot puts out what they call the Read Harder Challenge every year. So, if you haven't heard of it before, I know that they've been doing it at least for the last 10 years, but they do 24 different categories of the challenge. And I went on Goodreads like over the last couple of nights and I've been like reading descriptions of books to get ideas for what to read. And so, like, I think number one this year, or it's somewhere in the list, is like read a book by a BIPOC author that's been published within like the last year. And then there's one that's like read a queer, I think it's like a queer horror or something, but it's like all these different genres. And basically, it's like trying to get people outside of like their normal bubble of reading. So I am planning on joining the library because your girl can't buy all the books all the time. And Mary keeps being in the back of my head, like, hey, I'm on the library board. Libraries are really important, which is so true. So, yeah, so my goal is to do all 24 tasks in the Read Harder Challenge this year. So,
That's awesome. Okay,
yeah.
so I had not known about that, so I'm gonna look that up as well and
Yes,
do it
please
with you
do. Yeah,
because
yeah,
that's really exciting. There's just
yeah.
something so fun about, like, reading, um,
It is.
again and, like,
Yeah,
getting back into reading again,
yeah.
and I've replaced, like, doom scrolling with
Yes,
reading,
with
and
reading.
that has helped my mental health so
Yeah,
much.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. What is your win for this week?
Okay, so my win is really exciting, and it's probably not gonna sound exciting to everybody. But my husband is taking my toddler away all day tomorrow. Tomorrow's Saturday for us right now because we're recording on a Friday. And he's going to take my toddler away all day. And I am going to deep clean the house. Now, I know that that probably does not sound exciting to most people, but I love cleaning when I get to listen to my slutty little audiobook on full blast. Like, I don't have to put headphones on because I'm not worried about a child hearing it or my husband hearing it. I mean, my husband doesn't care, but I'm gonna put on a dirty book and just listen to. The dirtier the book, the more likely I am to get on my knees and scrub those floorboards. Like, people be
I love it.
fucking and I be cleaning. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know what it is about, like, when I'm cleaning, I need to listen to something smutty because it just
It's
inspires.
motivational. Yeah.
So I'm gonna do that all day. I'm gonna get myself a little iced coffee. I'm gonna have like a nice little treat, and I'm gonna deep clean our house. If any of you have toddlers, you know that there are cracker crumbs in every cushion, like just shoved into every cushion of
Yeah.
my couch, underneath everything. I found applesauce that, like, he had one of those applesauce pouches and he, like, it exploded one day and I thought I cleaned it up. And then, like, 3 weeks later, I found more of it on, like, a
Oh no.
but it was crusty by that point. So it took me a while to figure out what that was. Yesterday,
Yeah.
I stepped on something and I thought it was poop. Turns out it was just sausage from that he had earlier from the other day. Um, it's getting to the point where if I don't wear slippers in my house, the bottoms of my feet have crumbs on them. And
Oh,
I sweep and vacuum
a
every
lot. Yeah. I've been
every
to your
single.
house. You keep it
Yeah,
pretty, yeah.
I
Yeah.
try.
You keep it good. You try. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's needless to say, it's in need of a deep clean. And I love doing, like, I'm gonna move the couch out. I'm gonna like clean
Hmm.
out from under there. I'm gonna like dust the blinds. I'm gonna get the baseboards. I'm gonna, like, I'm gonna do all the, like, the
Yeah.
stuff you don't do regularly,
Oh,
so
totally.
that, and like in all the high traffic areas, so that
Yeah.
I can just feel more at
Yeah.
peace. And
Yeah.
that is a really exciting day for me. I realize it's
Yeah.
not for everybody, but
It's
I will
funny.
give credit.
Do you deal with the fingerprints on the wall? That's what I used to like hate. And I
Yeah,
was not living with toddlers. I was living with adult males, but like there would be like on the door jams. I'm like,
yeah,
okay, Mr. Clean Magic Eraser is gonna
yeah.
make that white again. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's also potty training right now, so
oh
it's
yeah.
everything just feels gross. Like, I feel
It's in
I
the
feel
transition.
gross.
He's in a life transition
Yeah,
phase. Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm becoming more and more aware every day that I live in a house of boys.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, it is what it is. But that is my idea of an exciting day. And if you hate cleaning, let me recommend this to you. Listen to something smutty. See if you enjoy cleaning after that. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
It's a good reward, right? You have
Yeah.
to have like the carrot system for cleaning.
So now that we've talked about our wins for the week, what is something that you would like to do better?
I really want to. I'm calling it keeping to my ideal schedule. So I was trying to, just for like health related reasons, just to like help my mental health, wake up and go to bed at the same time, every day, which can be challenging, which I think, I don't know. I've been experimenting with whether or not I need to make my wake up time a little later. So I wake up at 6 right now. And then I am trying to be in bed and reading by 10, which doesn't always work out, especially, if you start a movie at like 9 o'clock and you're like, yeah, 10 p.m. bedtime is totally, and it's not even bedtime. It's like read for like 30 minutes to an hour time. But yeah, so I really want to get back to that ideal schedule. And part of that too was just like being off my phone earlier or like being off my laptop earlier. So yeah, that is my do better for this week, because it was the week that I was doing so good at the gym was the week that I was like doing like that. And so I know that it is also impacting other goals in my life.
Sure.
But yeah, but what about you?
Yeah, so my do better is better time management. I've said it before. You'd given me the advice last time of doing changing kind of my style that I was doing, because I was doing like 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off. Like I was trying a whole bunch of different ADHD tricks. So I just recently started doing the one client at a time method that you're doing. I've only done it for like a day or two. So, you know, it's I need to see if I keep to it
If
for a
it,
week, if
yeah,
it helps. But on the day that I did try it did help.
good.
And I did get some work done. So it is helpful. I just need to be better at, I have a very limited window of time now compared to last year, to get work done because of childcare and stuff like that. So I need to come in here and like be focused and get my stuff done. Because it is really easy for me to be like, I'm going to do a piece of content real quick, and then to get lost in like TikTok or Instagram and, blank, and then like an hour has gone by and I've done nothing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that is my do better.
Yeah.
So
I wish you luck in continuing the
thank you.
process.
If I do anything better, I'll let you know, but
the content's good. That's the hard part. It is good.
it is good. I know it is. So, all right. Well, it's a great conversation. Love chatting with Dusty. Love chatting with you again today. And thank you, audience, for tuning in again. We will see you on Thursday for our next guest. It's going to be a great one. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to the Take the Leap podcast. We hope you found useful takeaways you can apply to your entrepreneurial journey. Subscribe so you don't miss future episodes, and keep in touch and follow us on Instagram. If you have business questions, shoot us a direct message or leave us a comment. We'll try to cover it in an upcoming episode. And visit our website, taketheleap-today.com, for more resources like our online course that accompanies this podcast.